this week was a little bit different. I saved a turtle. I think I just saved a turtle. So for a little bit of background here, I walked out onto the balcony and saw a kookaburra with something in its mouth. I put on my glasses to try and get a clearer view and saw that it was a baby turtle. I threw the closest piece of laundry I could find at it and it dropped it into the garden. So I went hunting, and this is what I found.
Oh, it is. Is he alive? As you can see, I am shaking at this point. I am both worried and excited. So first things first, I put him in a little bit of fresh water in the sun. He needs to stay warm and hopefully rehydrate. I think I saw his eyes move. I thought I saw some movement, but unfortunately there are still no signs of life. It's still early days. Did he make it? And I'm starting to lose the sun, so I warmed up a heat bag to put underneath this pot. Hopefully this helps keep the water warm enough to encourage him to get some movement. I also took advantage of a security camera with a motion detector to alert me to any movement. Hopefully we can save him. And this was the longest few hours of my life, anticipation-wise. But what's that? A little bit of movement. He lives! And then suddenly I was alerted to some movement on my camera. And I was so excited to see that I'd brought him back from the brink. Yeah, buddy. I think I scared him now, but he was just walking.
Dubbed Lucky by my family, but I'm naming him Orly from Critical Role, just to show my inner nerd. Alright, so he's moving. We've just changed up the position so the birds don't get him overnight. I'm gonna make a nice little home for him. Hey, friend. Now we've got a nicer temporary home. We'll add some more water and water plants from a fish tank I've got to keep it nice and fresh. And a snail seems to have come along for the ride. Okay, so he can hang out here for a while as I set up a new home for him. So I'm gonna bust into my aquarium supplies and pull out a heater, light, filter, and some other bits and pieces before going out and collecting some mosses and plants from a local area to help build up a nice natural tank. So building up some rocks, river gravel, and a few houseplants in the mix, I made up a nice little turtle tank, giving him a good amount of area to swim and a nice natural looking space to bask. Time to fill it up with some water that I have treated to be fish safe and removed all of the chlorine. And after a quick cleanup, I grabbed some more water plants from an aquarium that I have set up to help give the turtles something to hide away under. And there we have quite a nice little turtle tank. Hopefully this is an appropriate place for our guy to go through a little bit of a rehab from his kookaburra attack. So it's time to pull him out of a little temporary housing since he escaped the other one I made. And time to put him into his new home. After doing a metric load of research, I found out you shouldn't put turtles straight into the water, allow them to take a breath and dive in when they are good and ready. So this guy is an eastern longneck or snake-necked turtle. He's only a baby and was probably trying to find his way to some water when he was scooped up. After a little bit of research, I found out that these guys can hold their breath for hours and tend to sleep underwater. After a couple of days, he was moving around quite happily and even eating some bloodworm that I had from the fish tanks. Look at him go. I do fairly regular water changes to make sure that the water stays nice and clean for him, since I have read some bits and pieces that a dirty tank is specifically bad for turtles. He seems to enjoy the tank well enough, but there is one part missing. He needs some UV light to bask under. So, thanks to Amazon and one-day delivery, we have a nice basic light. And now that he has everything that he needs for his health, I'm hoping that Orly has a good time in his little rehab tank. He even seems to have gotten the hang of me and isn't scared when I pick him up anymore, which I've got to say is pretty awesome. Look at that giant neck. He's been eating well and enjoying his basking position. All in all, I'm pretty amazed with how much life this little guy has, considering how dried up he was when I found him. After a few days, he was eating, he's moving around, he seems perfectly healthy. I've made him a nice little home and I kind of want to keep him. I'm going to look into what's required for keeping a turtle.